Alright, let's appreciate this fight between Frank Martin and Artem Harutyunyan. Sorry if I butchered that name. What I liked in round 1 was both fighters' defense. Frank kept his lead hand in a hot guard to avoid Artem's jab while being able to parry them at the same time, while Artem kept his lead hand out to measure his jabs while keeping distance. From the look of this chess game, it looks like Artem made a good adjustment by going over Frank's jab to deliver clean hooks. Both fighters' footwork was on point as Artem was able to keep up with Frank's slick movements. In round 2, I like that Artem adjusted even more than before by going for the body and being able to let his hands go more often after timing the defense of Frank's lead hand. This pressure also forced Frank to get more into his offensive bag as well. As well as delivering some clean counters of his own. Round 3 picks up the pace as each fighter goes tit for tat. While some counters landed, both fighters looked like they respected each other's hands, while staying more on the defensive side than counteroffensive, while the other was landing combinations. It looks as if the gears were still turning on how to properly get over the other guy. Artem was showing really great head movement, while Frank was showing great footwork getting out of the corners and off the ropes. I actually like Artem's pacing in round 4. He adjusted even more, not only measuring his distance a lot more, but was also timing Frank's footwork and jabs while constantly moving so he wouldn't be as readable. It looked like Artem was honestly giving Frank a hard time in this round. Artem honestly looked like he was in his bag by round 5. Frank throwing mainly jabs still tells me he was still figuring out how to get inside to do damage, while Artem was timing his punches and maneuvering around him when needed. Frank was still mainly throwing 1s and 2s, while Artem took advantage of that and let more of his arsenal out, looking more like the aggressor of the two fighters. Round 6 was a true game changer for Frank. Not only did he do more hits to the body than before, but he also took the role as the aggressor in this round and started throwing combinations like he did in the earlier round. One thing that was noticeable about Frank turning up the dial was that Artem didn't have an answer. I don't know if he was comfortable with the previous volume Frank was on, but he couldn't counter once Frank started letting them hands fly. Not only was he losing his balance in certain moments, but fatigue was finally appearing on Artem's face, looking like Frank finally saw a kink in his armor. Artem was backing up more in this round than he did the entire fight. Round 7 was a really good round for both of the fighters. Artem once again adjusted to Frank, and they went back to the tit for tat that they did early in the fight. The head movements and footwork was back in full effect for both fighters in this round, and Frank did some really great body work in this round. While Artem went back to looping his jab over Frank's like he did before. They both were successful in the chess games they were playing against one another, bringing a good second win to the second half of the fight. Round 8 shows Artem going to the body a lot more. His uppercuts were becoming more apparent and successful here. And Frank was now throwing more double jabs to a combo more in this round as well. The high volume pace seems to be on autopilot by the time round 9 arrives. Artem is leaning slightly as the more aggressive fighter at the moment, as he is able to land more combinations than Frank, as well as getting in and out on a good rhythm as well. It's not a domination though, as Frank still has plenty in the tank and is more effective with doubling and tripling up his jabs, which Artem was still having issues with. Both fighters were exchanging and delivering counters very well, but Artem's uppercuts were still giving Frank issues, while Artem was looking decent around Frank's combinations. By round 10, I honestly felt like if Frank didn't dominate these last 3 rounds, he was going to lose his fight. And I'm guessing Frank and his team felt the same way, because he came out guns a-blazing. This was easily the most aggressive Frank has been the entire fight, utilizing everything that was giving him an edge in the previous rounds. He barely gave Artem any breathing room with his constant combinations, throwing Artem's rhythm off again. Then doubling and tripling the jabs were the most effective in this round, and the biggest adjustment that Frank made was eating majority of Artem's blows. He walked through Artem's attacks to deliver the same pressure times 2, and Artem had no answer for anything that Frank was doing. Artem was backing up the majority of this round. By round 11, those jabs were pretty much taking Artem completely out of the game. He just couldn't read him, and his left eye was slowly closing up on him as well, making the situation even tougher for him. Even though he was still trying to fight back, you can tell his days were numbered by this time. Frank needed to completely outclass Artem in this final round to get the comeback he needed, so he was a man on a mission. This was a repeat of round 10. Overwhelming aggression and combinations, not backing up during any of the exchanges, eating all of the punches Artem was delivering and getting him off his balance the entire round. It was to the point where Artem couldn't take the velocity anymore and had to voluntarily take a knee, which was the ultimate game changer. Artem was never able to recover after that, which ultimately led to him trying to just survive the last round. If it wasn't for those last 3 rounds, Frank probably would have lost this fight, but overall, still a great fight in my opinion. That's how I saw the fight though, but hey, what do I know? I'm just an average fan, not a professional. But like if you like the video, subscribe if you like the content. Until next time, y'all be easy.